You talk about the ultimate sign of disrespect. Adam Ottavino got it today. And this is just beyond absurd what the Yankees did today. And I know it sounds like I've been pounding them a lot lately, but they feel like they're getting worse. They feel like they're getting worse. They brought back LeMahieu, okay. They brought in Kluber, who has been hurt. They brought in Jameson Taillon, who's coming off of Tommy John surgery. Okay, you hope that he's getting it all together, and I understand how they're trying to make this work. Or Taillon, whatever, I don't know how to pronounce this last name. Taillon, I'll find it out. But the point is they don't feel better as they trade away Ottavino today. And look, I'm not making a big deal. Ottavino wasn't good this past year. There's no getting around that. The numbers are skewed somewhat by that awful, awful appearance in Buffalo against the Blue Jays, where he gave up 6 runs in that nightmarish game. But Ottavino, let's be fair about it. I mean, when they gave him the contract that they did, nobody thought it was outlandish. So they traded away Ottavino today to the Boston Red Sox so that they could get under the salary cap number. And let's just keep calling it that because that's what it is. It's a salary cap. You know, we can talk about the luxury tax threshold. No, it's a salary cap. That's absolutely what it is. And the Yankees, I went and looked, they've been over it the last 2 years, and they're trying to stay under it this year. So this brought them, they thought they were going to be over the number with Ottavino on the team. And now subtracting it from the number, they have about 9 million free. There's a bunch of different things that are factored in here in average annual value and all that kind of stuff. But it doesn't feel like they're going to go and do a whole lot more to make that better. So you're just giving up on Ottavino altogether when this guy's got an unbelievable slider. Okay? This is not somebody that you should give up on and walk away from. And not only are you getting rid of him to get under the cap, but you're trading him to the Red Sox? I mean, that's a slap in his face. That is telling Adam Ottavino, we don't care how many times we face you this coming year. We're confident you're not going to get us out at all. Think about that. They've had one other trade in the entire decade, and maybe in the last 20 years with the Boston Red Sox. And that was, I think it was Stephen Drew. But other than that, Adam Ottavino, to just get rid of his money, they shipped him to the Red Sox. I mean, that is tantamount to the, well, not the same level, but it is in the same vein of the Red Sox selling you Babe Ruth. And of course, he said he would strike Babe Ruth's ass out. Okay, that's fine. But you get the point. Ottavino, you're giving a weapon out of the bullpen who had a bad year to a team in your division that you're not remotely worried about right now. But let's call it what it is. You're going to have to face this guy in some situations where you're going to need to win some games. They have a full-on season. You're facing them 19 times. And there's a good chance you're going to see Ottavino at least 10 times. Doesn't matter about what the Red Sox do. And what matters is if the Yankees need the games and he comes in and sticks it where the sun don't shine. I mean, that if I were Ottavino, I'd be so insulted by this trade, and I would be doing everything I could this year to stick it to the Yankees. I really would. Look, he wasn't good. There's no getting around that. But getting under that luxury tax by a couple of bucks is so important that you hand him over to your most hated rival, even though they're not at the same place that you are right now. Wow. Wow. That's gutsy. That's potentially remarkably stupid. And I understand how bad the Red Sox are at the moment. Doesn't matter. Yankees are going to need to win games this year. okay? I'm not talking about a big playoff spot. I'm talking about what if in September they got games they have to go win and Ottavino comes in and sticks it to you? What if that happens? I hate the idea that they did this. And they went and traded him away just to get rid of his money. That he was so bad just to get rid of his money. And let's be clear one thing. I don't want to get too into the weeds on the salary cap, okay? But the Yankees for the last 2 years have been over it, which means that this year, the amount of dollars that they are over it, they have to pay a 50% tax on that. So for every dollar they're over, they're actually paying $1.50. Now, if that's, $500,000 or $1 million over, okay. But I've never heard more about them trying to stay under the cap than this year. Never heard more about it. Except for a few years ago when they wanted to get under it so that they could reset it. I haven't heard a lot about being the reset. All I've heard about is how much money the Yankees are losing. 800-919-3776. 800-919-ESPN. Chris is out on Long Island. He's next. 98.7 ESPN. Chris, what's going on?
Chris, what's going on, man? How you doing? Listen, so quick point here. I know Deshaun Watson is looking really good, for the Jets. Everybody's eyes are getting big. But I'll take you back to last offseason. Jerry World didn't want to pay Dak, and he's coming off an injury. Would it be a better move as far as cheap, and you're still getting a good young quarterback, even though he's coming off an injury, and Dak?
For the Jets?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not in love with Dak Prescott for the Jets.
He's put up some numbers.
Yeah.
And he's still under, a rookie contract. I mean, granted, it'll be at a year, but if he comes back and has a good year, that's a quarterback of a future.
Yeah, I'm not counting on it, to tell you the truth. I think that that's not the trade I would make. And I know that Dak has done a lot of good things in the league so far. But coming off that injury, if I'm the Jets, then I just assume stay with Sam. I just assume draft a guy if I believe in one of the other guys. I would not go down the Dak Prescott road. That's
because of the injury?
Because of the injury, and because I don't feel like Dak's a great fit for the Jets right now. I feel like if you have a chance to go get one of those other guys, that's the way to go right now. Because the injury is a big deal, but also there's a reason why they didn't want to give him all that money. And I know it's the Cowboys, but I do wonder what it is. And frankly, if I'm the Jets, I think that there's a better chance to go in other directions than to go down the Dak Prescott road.
Fair enough.
I'm not giving you a good enough answer. I know. Frankly, it's just because I don't have the best answer, and thanks for the call. I've never loved Dak Prescott as a player. And I think he's a very good player, but I just don't see him as a Jet. I don't see him as a Jet. I think that's just this guy. This is not my kind of guy. I don't know why. Greg in New Jersey next. 98.7 ESPN. Greg, what do you got for us, dude? How are you?
Yeah, how you doing, Chris? Love listening to you. I think you're great. I just want to make 2 points, and then I'll hang up and listen to what you have to say.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the game, Aaron Rodgers, that was a whole mess-up thing, but where it all went wrong was Kevin King, the cornerback. He was responsible for Scotty Miller's touchdown. He was responsible for Mike Evans' touchdown, and he's the one who had the PI. He's the reason why they lost. I don't know why they didn't put anybody else in, but he's the reason why they lost. And then if I may, I just want to make one more point real quick.
Listen, he didn't put anybody else in, and he was banged up going into the game because they didn't have anybody better. That's why.
Yeah, but they had Tramon Williams. Remember they brought him in?
But I mean, do you think they felt like Tramon Williams was a better option in that spot than he was? The way I'd put it is this. Go back to a very simple axiom. Coaches put the players on the field who give them the best chance to win.
You're 100% right. I mean, they know more than I would know. I have no skin in the game, my man. I mean, I'm a Giants fan. So.
No, I know, but whenever I think about why is that guy playing in this spot, I always go back to that. There so rarely are agendas from players or from coaches when it comes to who they're playing.
Yeah, I mean, it was just so bad because every play was, that they scored on was 3rd and 15, 3rd and 20, and then he let up a touchdown over his head.
It was absolutely brutal.
My last point, if I may, I think Tom Brady he's a great quarterback. I'm a Giants fan, but I think he's a great quarterback. But if I may say, he got a lot of breaks in the Seahawks game. They decided to throw it instead of running it in from the half-yard line. In the AFC Championship game, D Ford of the Chiefs lined up off sides, and then remember he threw that interception, but it got negated because D Ford lined up off sides. And then yesterday's game, everybody's saying Brady had he's the reason why they won, this and that. He threw 3 interceptions. I mean, do I think he's a good quarterback? Yes, but he gets a lot of breaks.
But Greg, I mean, listen, if we're going to go down that road, what is it that I can say right away to you about when the Giants beat them in Super Bowl 42? Well, Eli had an interception go through the hands of Asante Samuel on the last drive. Through the hands. Right. So these things, and my point is this, Greg, and thanks for the call, these things even themselves out. If you're giving me one quarterback all time to go win a game, it's Tom Brady. And end of discussion. I don't care who else you're going to throw my direction. I will take that guy. He is the single greatest winner I have ever seen on that front. It's amazing. 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. I'm so bummed out by what happened earlier today in baseball. And it's a major development, not just for this season, but for the long haul. We'll talk about that plus more on Brady without using that word, and more on how Aaron Rodgers is actually helping out the Jets by potentially getting traded. 800-919-3776. Carlin on 98.7 ESPN.
It's Carlin. The worst on 98.7 ESPN.
500 new in-stock vehicles, including the
I pressed play twice and go.
Plus, can earn to an additional $750 in Mazda loyalty rewards. Open road
break, you gotta read. Next break.
18 and Open Road Mazda of Morristown on Ridgedale app. Click, shop, we deliver at openroadmazda.com. Call 877-782-1386 for details.
With the football playoffs winding down and the big game right around the corner, it's time to get started on your New Year's resolution of finally losing that extra COVID fat. Don't spend another year struggling, since it only takes 40 days to lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds with NJ Diet.
Whenever you want.
Highly successful program that starts with genetically personalized supplements based on your hair, saliva, and blood work. Then NJ Diet uses DNA testing.
Dorian, what's up?
Diet plan and workout.
Thanks for checking in, brother.
To keep it off the rest of your life. Not sure if you can do it alone? NJ Diet is with you every step of the way. You're fully monitored to make sure you're burning fat and not just losing water. You'll also get the doctor's personal email and phone number. With locations throughout our listening area, NJ Diet is committed to you keeping the weight off. Not in the tri-state area? Well, NJ Diet is also available nationwide with live online video consultations. Take the 40-day challenge that can last a lifetime. Call 855-5NJ-DIET. That's 855-5NJ-DIET. Or go to NJDiet.com and lose the weight for good. That's NJDiet.com.
The Honda Civic and the Accord are uniquely stylish in their own way. But do you know what they have in common? Reliability and comfort? Sure. Available turbocharged engines? Of course. But also, the driver, having fun for no reason, except for the thrill of driving a Honda. Kelley Blue Book's 2020 Best Value Brand.
Contact your local Honda dealer for a great deal today.
Based on 2020 brand image awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit kbb.com for more information.
Good afternoon. Would you like to try a free sample of our double fudge brownie?
Oh, sure. That's very good. I'll just take one more, just to be sure. Yep, still very good.
Some things never change, like never being able to take just one free sample. And Geico saving folks lots of money on their car insurance.
Is that macadamia nut I taste? Let me take one more.
Sir.
Yeah, I thought so.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Dealing with a dead battery? Head to AutoZone. They offer free.
All right, guys, I'm sorry.
Like free battery testing,
neglecting you on the stream a little bit. What's going on tonight?
Battery testing can help you know if you need
Dorian,
a new
appreciate the
battery
congrats.
or if you're in need of a fresh charge.
I can't believe the Red
If you
Sox
do happen to need a
agreed to that
replacement,
trade,
they've got
Stevie.
reliable batteries
I'm not
starting
shocked.
at just
Really not.
$79.99. And they're the
Abraham
only place
Aids,
you can find
love the
proven
weekend
tough
watching there.
Duralast
Appreciate
batteries.
that, man.
So next time you're having battery
Having some
trouble,
fun.
head to AutoZone. Your battery
I'll always take
solution
input on
and
what do you want to
America's
see in the
#1
background too.
battery destination.
Back here,
Hey, New
I had
Yorkers,
this
you're doing great.
kind of
Wearing your masks, washing your hands, staying socially distanced,
Not a fan.
and doing everything you can to help
Don't
each
care.
other stay safe.
Don't
Do you
care for
wanna
it didn't
know
fit
what's
him.
next in our fight against COVID-19? We all need to get tested for COVID-19 often. Even if
Whatever
we
you
have
guys
no
want to see
symptoms.
back there, let me know.
Why get tested if you feel okay?
Stuff up.
Because COVID-19 doesn't always cause symptoms. You can still pass the virus on to a friend, a family member, or any of the New Yorkers working hard every day to keep our city running. So please, keep wearing your mask, washing your hands, staying 6 feet apart, and avoid indoor gatherings. And today, start getting tested for COVID-19 often, even if you feel fine and have no symptoms. Testing is safe, confidential, and...
Okay.
To find a testing site near you, visit nyc.gov/COVID-test or call the NYC Test and Trace Corps hotline at 212-COVID-19. Get tested today.
Over on Twitter, our guy Jarv checking in. For those worried about Otto facing the Yankee hitters, might want to check the schedule. First game against Boston is June 4th. Red Sox will most likely look to deal him around the trade deadline, as he may not get many shots at them. I can't take that for certain. And the Yankees get them 13 times in the second half of the year. I still wouldn't trade him there. I really wouldn't. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you, Jarv and everybody else, that like that's going to be the be-all, end-all for the Yankees. I just don't want to see them in that kind of situation, and making a trade with the Red Sox, to me, never makes sense. Mike Gaffney, Ottavino will own the Yankees with that wicked slider. Just sneezed, because none of them double sneeze. Damn, come on. None of them can hit it or lay off of it at all. Yeah, listen, that's a problem. That slider, when it's sharp, it's a major, major problem. It's a major problem. Getting people out, and I'm not saying for the Yankees, I'm just saying for an opponent. So I just would not have given up on him so quickly as to, I have to get every penny under that cap. I mean, come on. You could find another way. Find another way to get under it. Corey Kluber. Jameson Taillon, okay. Like, there's little risk for the reward there. Okay? Kluber's $11 million at 35 years old and hasn't barely pitched in 2 years. That's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous on their part. Dave in Jersey City next, 98.7 ESPN. Hey, Dave, how you doing, bud?
I'm just going to make a quick call. Najee has to the Jets, I think, and I will keep the quarterback, Donald. And I want to call Tom Brady the American hero. He's a great quarterback. Thank you, Mr. Carlin, and you're doing a great job every night.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you very much. Appreciate the call. It was brevity. It was brief. It was, tight to the thought right there. Well done. Look, Tom Brady is a hero to many people. I understand that. I myself am, I can't help but respect what the guy has accomplished. It's been amazing. Now, do I need one more video with him and Gronk? No, but if you're Tom Brady, you do whatever the hell you want to do. I still think his greatest achievement was his acting performance in Ted. Or was it Ted 2? I think it was Ted 2. That was amazing. It's very funny interacting with the bear. Very funny. Let's go to Mike in Jersey. Mike is next, 98.7 ESPN. Mike, what's going on?
Hey, Chris, I just wanted to say I completely agree with you about the Jets giving up picks for Deshaun. First off, I would say that Deshaun is a proven commodity, and as we know, the Jets don't even have any picks really on their roster. I know Joe Douglas is going to do a better job, we hope, with making picks, but we already know this is a pick that's guaranteed. So why not trade these picks and know that you have the quarterback that you need and you're eventually going to have to pick? So making the team better really doesn't help you because eventually you're going to have to go into the draft at 15 with a decent team and get a lower pick. I just want to know what your thoughts are.
Mike, my thought is this, and it's similar to what you're saying, but I would just look at it this way. We are talking about a quarterback being available who is already a superstar, okay? And he did what he did with nobody on the team last year, and I understand that they went 4-12, so he couldn't carry them. There was only so much he could do. But this is somebody who's already locked up for 5 years at what will be a reasonable number for a franchise quarterback in the span of about 2.5 to 3 years at the latest. You know, he's only going to count 10 against the cap this coming year and then goes to the mid-30s after that. But that number, you know, you're going to see a lot of franchise quarterbacks be in the 40s after that. And so with that in mind, I get that the Jets are in rebuilding mode, but this guy's 25 years old. So it's like I'm building with him. I'm not going and getting him to try to win this coming year. I'm not that naive about the situation. I know how much the Jets need on their roster. Their roster is bereft of talent, but I still think with the amount of picks that they have, Mike, and I'll let you finish in a sec. I still think with the amount of picks that they have, that they can continue to build around him. And within 2 years, 3 years, they could absolutely be a playoff team. 2 years, I would say, for playoffs.
I want to double down with what you're saying, Chris, and I'd say absolutely. And on top of that, now you give him what he wants, which is you actually can come here and help us design this team because I have a coach that will listen to what your feedback is. I've got a GM that we believe will make the right decision based on the coach's choice. And it's a team that he can put his mark on in the middle of New York City where he will undoubtedly be the number one star talent if he comes here as the quarterback.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, if he comes here, and thanks for the call, I'm just scanning my brain quickly. I mean, Durant and Harden and Kyrie. But, like, here's the problem. All those guys are with the Nets. People, I can't believe this is the truth, but it really is. There's a lot more people outside of New York and around the league that care about the storylines, about the three of them playing together, than the people here do. Those three guys are on the Nets. People still care more about the fact that Quickly had 31 last night. So, as far as in the town, he would become the number one star. In the town, he would become that star. Because the quarterback of the Jets is a lot more important than the superstar for the Brooklyn Nets. You know, the Nets, it's funny. With the Nets, and when they were in Jersey, they had this problem too. They didn't sell out a game in the finals. I mean, for Pete's sake, for that to happen, and they were playing against the Spurs and the Lakers. They sold out a couple of them, but there were a couple they didn't sell out at the Meadowlands Arena. When they were in the finals against Shaq and Kobe and against Tim Duncan and the Spurs. So, yeah, all right, you got Durant, you have Kyrie, you have James Harden all playing together, but it's like everybody outside of New York cares a lot more about it than the people in New York because there's still so few Brooklyn fans. Maybe it'll be a younger generation of fan that will come to be a Net fan because of those three guys there. Maybe that'll happen. But like, I don't get the sense, and part of it too is that we're in the middle of COVID, but I don't get the sense that it has jumped off the charts. I know the Nets ratings are way up on Yes, which I get. But I don't get the sense that it has been off the charts. And frankly, you know what? I'm putting a poll up. I'm putting a poll up right now. Do you care about the Nets? Does New York care about the Nets? I want to know. Anyway, 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. I honestly look at it and think Deshaun Watson would be the biggest star if he came here in town. I think that's absolutely true. And, you know, don't throw Aaron Judge at me or those kinds of guys because, I mean, we could talk about it, but Deshaun Watson's out on the field every week. 800-919-3776. Carlin on 98.7 ESPN. That's right. And let me just play this for you.
It's Carlin.
He's a big dumb animal, isn't he, folks?
On 98.7 ESPN.
Vermont ski getaway with more lift passes. It's all from Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it, and you're home for the weekend ski report. 98.7 ESPN.
Introducing Money Dots, a new game from the New York Lottery. Only $1 to play. And if you match with a dot, you win money. It's that simple. Want to know if you've won? Just check in store or watch the Quick Draw live show on our mobile app. Money Dots from the New York Lottery. Look for it where Quick Draw is played. Must be 18 years or older to purchase a lottery ticket. You must be 21 years or older to purchase a Quick Draw ticket where alcoholic beverages are served. Please play responsibly.
Hi, friend. It's your home speaking, and I need some favors. Could you turn on some of the lights in the basement? I'm scared of the dark. Also, this one is easy. Could you bundle your home and car insurance with Geico so we could save money? Last thing, just a suggestion. Could you steam clean the carpets? I need a spa day.
Geico. For bundling made easy, go to geico.com today.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All right, coming back here in 10. Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Assurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
All right, I just put it up on my IG, on the Instagram story. That guy Carlin on Instagram. That guy Carlin. Go vote. I put the poll up. We'll fill you in on it later in the show. Do you really care about the Nets all that much now? You know, it's funny. It just kind of came up because I don't think there's any doubt that Watson would be the biggest star here, even though you have Durant, biggest star in New York, just based on the fact that the one that people are going to care about the most. I mean, maybe more people care about the Nets than I realize, but here's the thing. And this is going to be tough for some Net fans to hear. When we talk about the Nets on this show, silence. I never hear from you guys. It's like talking about hockey. The diehards check in, and then that's about it. 800-919-3776. Let's hit Billy in East Rockaway. He is up next on 98.7 ESPN. Hey, Billy, what's cooking, dude?
What's up, Rich? How you doing, man?
Rich. Chris, how are you?
Good. Yeah, I think actually Aaron Judge is probably the biggest star in New York.
Well, I mean, he might be at the moment, but if Deshaun Watson walks in the door,
internationally,
no,
I mean, you got Kevin Durant. You got a guy like Kevin Durant. You got a guy like James Harden. Both of these guys are former MVPs in the league. What they've done,
they're bigger stars nationally. Don't get me wrong; they're bigger stars nationally. I'm talking about in this town.
If you're telling me if the Yankees were in the World Series right now and the Jets were in the Super Bowl, I think more fans would levitate towards Aaron Judge and the New York Yankees than Deshaun Watson and the Jets. And I'm a diehard Jets fan, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm also a diehard Yankees fan.
First of all, if Deshaun Watson takes the Jets back to the Super Bowl, he will be the biggest star in this town. Secondly, with Aaron Judge, let's just talk about him being on the field in the postseason more than anything else. You can't be the biggest star in town when you're injured all the time. You can't be. You can't be it. Matt Harvey was the biggest star in this town for a very brief period of time. It was a flashing star. Jeter was the biggest star in this town for a very long time because he was consistently healthy and out there and was absolutely the greatest clutch in this town. Alex Rodriguez, what?
At one point, Alex Rodriguez was the biggest star in New York.
No. Thanks for the call. No. Alex Rodriguez was a nationally bigger star across the country. He was the biggest star in baseball at one point. He was not a bigger star in New York than Jeter. Do you understand what I'm saying here, guys? I'm talking about in this town. I'm not talking about across the country. Of course, Kevin Durant is a bigger star than Deshaun Watson. All around the country. But the national NBA fans care a lot more about the Nets than the local ones do.
This is true.
You think so, Brian?
Oh, I completely agree, because I even talked with my friends from California, and they're like, so what do you think about these Brooklyn Nets? I'm like, well, it's nice, but you like the Knicks? Why? So it's always like they don't understand that.
Whoever it is who brings, let's put it this way, too. Whoever it is who brings the Knicks back, whatever player that is,
oh, my goodness.
That guy will be one of the biggest stars in this town.
It could have been Russell Westbrook.
Oh, well, let's not get that. Listen, I wanted him here too, but don't go there.
It could have been.
But it wasn't.
And for a short time, it was Carmelo Anthony, and then...
No, it wasn't. It was... No. Dial it back for a second, okay?
Not the biggest star, but he was for the Knicks in Brooklyn. Like, you had Kevin Garnett, you had Paul Pierce. Who were you looking at?
But nobody cared about those guys then.
Exactly. Nobody cares what the Nets do.
All that people remember about Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce is that it hamstrung the organization and gave them another reason not to care about them forever. I mean, for the dumbest trade that Billy King made for those guys down the line. I have to, I mean, they'll get a parade and all that, but the Nets winning a championship will not come anywhere near the Knicks winning a championship in this town, not even in the same stratosphere. Please.
And whoever wins it for the Knicks will probably have a street name under him or something like that by 34th Street or whatever.
Yeah.
That's how big it will be. That's the difference.
Yeah, Melo is, I can't go to the Melo thing. All right, Melo to me is like Isaiah Thomas walking out with the microphone saying, "Welcome to the playoffs." Really, Isaiah? We've been there before. You didn't just bring us here for the first time ever. Steve in Blue Point is next. Steve, what's going on, bud? How are you?
Hey, Chris, how are you? I was actually calling about Deshaun Watson, but I will say...
No, we can do both. The point is that Watson would be the bigger star. That's my point. Anyway.
Yeah. The Nets are the most unlikable team I've ever watched, just between Harden and Irving. But as far as Deshaun Watson, the one thing I'm missing here is for what we have to give up for Deshaun, who's running the ball for him, who's blocking for him, who's he throwing to after we give up all these picks?
It's a great question. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but you have to understand that they're going to be able to, without the first round picks, still go get other guys in free agency with the amount of money that they have to spend. And also with second and third round picks. That's where your team is going to continue to be built. If you draft well in those other spots, you're going to be all right. Now, look, I actually, Steve, believe that there is the slightest of chances that with this glut of quarterbacks that's available, that you could actually end up having the price on Watson drop just a little bit. I think that's possible. And so if you could find a way to give up 2 first-round picks and then a couple of 2s or something like that, if that ever happened, I mean, that'd be tremendous. Anyway. All right, good talk, Steve. See you out there. Thanks. Ronnie, New Jersey, next, 98.7 ESPN. Ronnie, what do you got?
Hey, man, how you doing? I was just wanted to ask you what it would take for the Nets to get Al Horford from Oklahoma or Whiteside to help them.
Well, they need help protecting the rim. I mean, with Whiteside, they do. The defense is going to be a problem. They're going to need a couple of role players here if they're going to win a championship. And look, I don't know what it's going to take at this point. I also got to look at the cap implications because obviously the Nets are now in a different stratosphere with the cap. But, I don't, considering what I saw from Horford in Philadelphia, I'm not convinced I would go there. And Whiteside would be an intriguing player, but I just don't think that's likely to happen. The Nets are going to be very, very interesting to watch in the coming weeks. because who are they going to end up being able to turn to before the trade deadline to get to help them? You know, as you're talking about that, like, can they get us on Whiteside from the Kings? I got to look at his money, but yeah, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. I don't see where people care about the Nets all that much. I really don't. 800-919-3776. It's Carlin. You can go vote on my Instagram at that guy Carlin. That guy Carlin on my Instagram. And please tell me it's on the IG stories. What's going on there? Because what am I missing? I don't see where people truly care about the Nets, where if Deshaun Watson showed up here, he wouldn't be the biggest star. I absolutely believe he would be. Carlin, 98.7, ESPN, 842.
It's Carlin.
I'm gutless.
On 98.7 ESPN.
Hey, everybody.
You're down.
Watch it, stream it, or cheer it. Go big with it. At PC Richard & Son, 65-inch Roku TV start at just $429. And if you want to go even bigger, get a 75-inch Roku 4K Smart TV for just $599. PC Richard & Son gives you 24-month special financing on any purchase $499 or more, plus free delivery or same-day curbside pickup. So get your big game TV at PC
We're rolling. Peter in Brooklyn next, 98.7 ESPN. Peter, please tell me why I'm wrong about the Nets.
I don't think you're wrong about the Nets at all. I feel like the Nets, they do need a role player. If I'm the Nets, it's a small sample size, but I saw how KD and Harden play well together. Kyrie doesn't really seem to be too dependable. So if I'm the Nets, I'm shopping Kyrie. I'm sorry, but you just disappear for a few weeks, and I don't really feel like playing basketball. I'm sorry, but there's never been an excuse like that for LeBron James, for Kobe Bryant, for God rest his soul, but for anybody that's been a superstar to that tier that he tries to hold himself to. So I just don't buy it. If I'm the Nets, I'm shopping Kyrie. I'm getting a few role players. And possibly bringing on a few other picks, maybe. I don't know.
I actually was talking about whether or not people care about him, but on that front, Hassan Whiteside, by the way, I thought he was still making a mint. That contract is over with. He's only making 2.3 this year, so he is somebody, and he's up after this year. So if you actually went to get him from Sacramento, it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. He's 31. He could absolutely help you defensively with protecting the rim.
100%. I think he could possibly play a role that Dwight Howard had played last year in LA, where obviously he's not what he used to be, but he'll be able to protect the rim. He'll be able to stretch the floor out a little bit. I just don't buy the whole Kyrie thing, man. I'm just tired of his nonsense.
I get that, but they're going to ride this out. They wanted to put these three together. Now, eventually, let's say it ended badly this year, right? And they got into next year, and it really wasn't going well. I do think Kyrie would be the odd man out. I absolutely do believe that.
I think that's what will happen. I mean, we'll see what happens throughout the season, but I don't know. I just feel like they need a lot more to win. They may win the East, obviously, because the East is what it is. But I mean, as far as competing in the finals, who's gonna get? You can't put KD on Anthony Davis all game if the Lakers make it to the finals again. I just don't see them doing anything crazy in this year. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, listen, and thanks for the call. If the Nets make the finals this year, it was a good year. It was a good year. They have to win a championship in the next 3 years, because that's how long they definitively have these guys for. This season, next year, all three have a player option. After that, maybe somebody gets out of it. But, if they have a chance, you would think that would be their best chance to go and win a championship together. Mike in Whitestone is next on 98.7 ESPN. Mike, what's going on?
Hey, sorry, I might be a little bit off topic. I know we're talking about the Nets, but
it's a free-for-all, man. There are just ideas flying all over the place. You do what you got to do. You be you.
You're a good guy to talk to about this. So I was thinking for the Yankees, and I know Chris Bryant is kind of available for the Cubs along with Kyle Hendricks. I was thinking, why don't the Yankees work something out? The Cubs want to get younger and cheaper. Why can't the Yankees work something out instead of the Mets? We give them Frazier, we give them Urshela. We give them Andujar, we give them Voit, and we take on Bryant and Hendrick and solve a few problems.
The problem is the Yankees' biggest issue is they're not going over the luxury tax. So if you're trading for those guys, it's almost like it is in the NBA when both teams are over the cap and can't afford it. You have to go and match money for money. The Yankees are not going over the 210, and that's right where they are right now.
I don't know offhand, but I think a lot of these salaries that the Cubs are looking to get rid of are for down the line, and not really for this year.
Listen, I know they're trying to get rid of it. It's a lot more likely, and I read this today, thanks to the call. Somebody said it, that Bryant is either going to be a Met or he's going to be a Cub this coming year. Either or. That he could still absolutely end up with the Mets. Which I wouldn't hate. If you look at Bryant's years, they're, the average is good, then bad, then good, then bad, but the power is ever present. And listen, Bryant's a terrific player. I just saw, I'm sorry, this completely threw me off. because I just saw somebody tweet this, a picture of this, and I have to know if this is a real thing. Bagel ice cream? Everything bagel ice cream. Listen to this. Buttery streusel laden with sesame, poppy, and yes, onions and garlic, smeared through the subtly sweet cream cheese ice cream. An ice cream acceptable to enjoy at any time of day. Everything is now available by pint online in shops and for local deliveries via, it's made by Jenny's. I can't, Brian McGee, help me out here. I can't do that. Can I? I can't.
That sounds disgusting.
It really sounds just so bad.
Once you said poppy seed and onion, I was like, nope.
Yeah,
nope.
Garlic.
No.
What are we doing?
Ran out of ideas, Chris.
You know what this is, Brian? And this kind of thing makes me so angry. So angry. When we take two things that are awesome by themselves.
Yes.
And we combine them and assume that they will be doubly awesome. When in fact, you could be just absolutely destroying the both of them. Everything bagel ice cream?
Ugh.
No.
Don't do that.
No. Like, that's how, listen, we make fun of me. I make fun of me, the whole weight thing, blah, 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 right? I literally got sidetracked by that image on Twitter. That's how bad of an idea that is. And people are going to buy that to try it. And, like, I honestly believe, like, if you like that, I don't want to know you. I'm a guy that has an open mind. I want to try things in life. I frankly feel like I have not lived enough.
I'm looking at the tweet. It's smear, the flavor you never knew you wanted.
Yeah, that's because I don't want it.
I don't want it, exactly. With sesame, oh, yes, onions and garlic. Oh.
That's not a selling point. That's not. No. I can't. No chance. No chance. Anyway, I'm sorry. Just completely sidetracked. I got to regroup. I want to know what Mike Golick Jr. thinks about this. Pat in Long Island is next, 98.7 ESPN. Pat.
And that sounds absolutely nasty.
It sounds disgusting.
Bagels and ice cream. It's a disgrace to both of the foods. I mean, you can't combine those. So number one, I voted on your poll. I don't care about the Nets. I really don't. I casually watch them here and there, but I really don't care about them. Number two, Deshaun Watson would be far and away the biggest star in New York. There's no question about that. Bigger than Aaron Judge. I mean, I'm a Yankees fan too. But, I mean, come on. The guy's the starting quarterback of the New York Jets if it happens, as opposed to a player on the Yankees. I mean, there's no doubt that the quarterback's the most important position. So that's why he would be one of the biggest stars in New York.
And just frankly, if you are that guy that comes here and leads the Jets back to prominence, you're going to be the biggest star in town. You're going to be. And it's not that the Jets are amazing. Listen, if you had a superstar with the Yankees who could, stay on the field, he would absolutely be bigger, but you don't quite have that right now.
100%. You can't say that if the guy's missing 60 to 100 games a year. You just can't. And what else I was going to say, since I got a little sidetracked there, is as far as the Deshaun Watson trade goes, I'm more than willing to give up 3 first-round picks, 100%, no doubt about it. But I saw a writer from Houston, I think his name was McLean or something.
Yeah, John McClain. We had him on the show recently.
Oh, did you really? Yeah, and he was bringing up saying that we should give them 3 first-round picks and Quinnen Williams. I mean, there's got to be a point where you can draw a line.
Yeah, no, I can't. No, I saw that too, and thanks for the call. And, he said on the show that it wasn't going to happen at all. But if it did, I would not do that. I would not do 3 first-round picks and Quinnen Williams. He was actually saying 3 first-round picks, 2 twos, and Quinnen Williams. No chance. All right, I'm going to regroup from this bagel ice cream debacle. 800-919-3776. Carlin, 98.7 ESPN.
Down.